Hello, welcome to my show. My name's Patrick. A lot of things are happening today. I just want to remind you, in this day and age, you have to and you should scan your auric field or your being. Scan your being, which is all your bodies, including your astral / spiritual, your physical, your emotional, your mental bodies. And you can do this, and it helps me a lot. I scan some celebrities that are in difficulty, and sure enough, they have a lot of hexes, spells, and curses. And you want to remove those because sometimes they're not effective, but they drag you down some. They make you tired and things of that nature. So it's always good to do that. If you can't do a scan, if you don't think you have the ability to do a dowsing on yourself, like where I have one here. So for example, let's say I'm going to take a historical person, not a historical, somebody famous, Alex Jones. All right, let's see where he is on spells, hexes, and curses in his life. Could you give me Alex Jones? Okay, he's off the chart. He's got a lot, and he's a public figure. And do I have permission to give this out to the public? What I'm about to say. Do I have permission? A little sluggish, but it's working. No. Apparently I don't. Let me double check it. Could you give me a rating on, do I have permission to give this information out to public? No, I don't. Apparently. I'll go back to this later. I don't know why. Where's my... I wanted to say, I'm getting a little off key here. I really believe every house should have a Bible, because you're going to be under psychic attack. And even if you don't use it or anything, you should have a physical Bible in your house. Even if you don't even call yourself Christian, you should have a Bible in your house. You should take these things to heart. Anyway, I did something on Alex Jones, and he should probably go see a priest or a pastor to remove him, to give him strength, emotional, spiritual strength. It's probably something he forgot about. But, he has so many enemies and people are doing all this voodoo stuff. You should visit it. And they're easy. There's a lot of people who can remove them. We discussed it in a previous video, how to remove them. And always start with the All Father is a good start. And put a preamble on it. And you could do that. And again, someone wrote in some very insightful things about Psalms, about being very powerful. You can go back and read that for yourself as well. And then I doused some cereals because I wanted to change my diet a little bit. And I found another very high vibration cereal, and it's called Nature's Path. And you can get them on the internet at Vita something. And they're kind of reasonable. They're usually, I went to a health food store, it's like $6.50 for a box of this cereal, and the other one is $2. The other one I mentioned that was really high vibration. And you go to this online store, and if you buy X number, you get free shipping. And I got it down to $4.40 a box, and it's a total. They have, and they also, it's a company that sells them in a bag. They sell it in a bag, so you get a lot of cereal. And one was Oat Bran Flakes, Spelt Flakes. They sell a granola, and they sell some Amaranth Flakes. So they're all kind of bland. so you might have to jazz them up, whatever your tastes are, but super, super high vibration, all right? And so that's called Nature's Path cereal. And then I saw, they had a vote today in the House, and I'm not even sure what it is. It wasn't a vote on impeachment or anything, it was a vote on procedures on impeachment, which I don't even know what it means. I read the resolution, and the first thought that came into my head, they're trying to cover their rear end for everything they did up to this point in the House on this impeachment thing. So they're trying to say this was all legal what we did because it's in the procedures which we just voted on favorably. So I don't know. I still get a very close 50-50 vote on the impeachment. It's really, really close. And I don't know it's going to be on the House floor. I kind of lean towards the committees. I mean, I've never seen 3 committees meet to do impeachment behind closed doors. It's never, ever been done. And I don't even know. He could possibly take it to the Supreme Court. He has 3 wimpy senators that could actually go against him. You know, you need 2/3 of the Senate to convict. But they're not going to get that. But it would be really bad if you don't get a majority in the Senate. It just won't look good. And also today, another Navy or another national security person testified, and he said he listened to it, and he didn't hear anything like that, any quid pro quo. He didn't hear it. So, and then they have this, I believe he's an Army guy. He's a major or lieutenant colonel, and he said he heard it. But this guy has a little, his background's a little mushy because he was an advisor to the previous Ukrainian government. So all this, everybody has muddied waters, as it were, and I don't think there's anything there. I have Trump going through the whole term in office, and I do have Ivanka very high with Carson being the VP sometime in the future. And I have Donald Jr., he ranks like a 5. Now, 5 is very high. That kind of tells me he's like the spare tire. If Ivanka messes up, he can step forward. But right now, he's at 50%. So he'll probably, 50%, that can easily turn into an 8. You know what I mean? So that's sort of how I see it right now. That's if we have an election, all right? And it could be a lot of different things. You can just feel it in your gut. Things are happening. And a lot of this, I'm beginning to lean more and more into the timeline. We're standing before us a bifurcation of the timeline, and your vibration will dictate to you which timeline you go in. And this has sort of been going on for a long time. Edgar Cayce, many, many years ago, 1930s, he wrote all these predictions about the future. And I did those a while back. I go, well, how much is Edgar Cayce relevant today? How much came true, will come true? And on his timeline, we're just 30% on his timeline. His whole projection of his future is a different timeline. We didn't go down that route. We had several significant turn of events. Donald Trump is one of those turn of events. At a minimum, he's taken off on a different course where the local host country, the sole group of the United States, the Americans, are beginning to make a stand. And that's what this battle is about. And I don't know what happened to my pendulum. I don't know what happened to my pendulum. It's around here. Let's go this way. Okay. Could you give me Nature's Path cereal, please? Nature Path cereal average of that company. Nature Path cereal. Okay? It's practically a 10. Do you see that? Could you give me the probability Donald Trump will run for re-election? no. Let's rephrase that. What is the probability Donald Trump will pull out of the race? What is the probability Donald Trump pulls out of the race? Okay. Even though I got a wind coming into my face, it still works. It doesn't. It's like a 7.5, 8. So it's an 80% chance. What is the probability he'll be president in the next term of office? The next presidency in 2021, 2021, 22, 23. Will he be president? What's the probability he'll be president? Go. Okay, it's about a 10. The wind is slowing me a little bit, but I like doing it in the wind a little bit just to test me. It kind of tests my chi level. And that's what I wanted to talk about. Okay, what is it? Ivanka, please, being president of the United States, what is her probability? 90%. So see, that's still going on. Donald's the backdrop. Ben Carson will be the spare on the 3rd. He's the vice president. And I did douse that her policies will be the same as Donald Trump's. I don't believe it optically. I kind of don't see it. I see her being part of the New York liberal scene all her life. But when I douse this goes, she's on board. So whatever he's doing and all the things that are going on, the bulk of what's been going on is in the background, all right? We don't see it. Everything that's happening, we don't see what he's doing. And it's going to change the country significantly. When we look back 10 years from now, he'll be listed, I believe, as the most admired president ever. That's hard to believe with all the mud that is going on now. He'll be the most admired president. Okay, I thought that was interesting. And then AOC, that woman from the communist. I call anybody a communist who wants to take away the Bill of Rights. Basically, that's how I do it. I believe people, it's really important. And when you travel around and see all these countries, you understand it's the only document that means anything. Everyone else tries to copy it, but this is the only one that we used it. Now, I believe for the last 20 or 30 years, we pretty much haven't had a constitution. We've been under, like, this criminal cabal has taken over, people use. And I get that too. And it's been about 25 years. And people going, what is Donald Trump's main goal? Let's say we get in his heart. I got to ask permission again. I'm sorry. Give me a yes, no, yes, straight ahead. Permission. Do I have permission to ask this question? What's in Donald Trump's thought? I won't say it all. Okay, I can do that one. His number one goal, you wouldn't believe. It's not even discussed. It's not even in the newspapers. We can't say it. I can't say it. But I can say this. It's not immigration. It's not getting rid of the Fed. Those are all subgroups under that umbrella. He is doing something very particular that's very dangerous. And will he recover? Will he succeed? What is the probability he'll succeed? He's 100%. Let's do this. For lack of a better word, everybody use your own word, is God behind Donald Trump's goal? Yes. Yes. 100%. Did you see that? It's back to Enoch, where Enoch says, in Enoch, Lucifer is Satan. It's the same animal. And Enoch is Metatron, Archangel Metatron. And Lucifer was a fallen angel. And this is his game. And it's being defeated. That's all. And Donald Trump sort of views himself doing this. That's how he sees. And Ivanka is 100% on board. But they don't articulate not even my words, there's actually different words to use, but it's going to go back. The suffering on the planet is going to go down a lot. And I get some really outrageous things coming up, and everyone else has their view. But if he accomplishes this objective, it is why Pelosi and Schiff and the Democrats and the TV networks and Hollywood and the finance industry on Wall Street, they're all viciously attacking Donald Trump. Because that's not because of immigration. Like immigration, okay, who cares? Or you can negotiate a compromise on immigration even. They don't even want to do that. They don't want to give him one single victory. Have you noticed that? Don't vote on anything. They don't want to do infrastructure. Why? Because this over here is more important. What is Trump doing? He's going to defeat Lucifer's consciousness, Luciferian energies. And as you remember, I had that one 4 or 5 months ago. We're putting on our body. I'm putting on my body armor. I can see the battle coming. Let's go. Yes, no. Are we there yet at the battle? Has it started? The spiritual battle of that dream, has it started? So we have started. It has started. We're in it. And I had that dream, 4 or 5 months ago. So probably, I would say, when do you think it started? Probably a month ago. It's going to be like this for a long time. And they're going to start. We'll see what happens. That's just my take. It doesn't matter if Trump wants to run another term. He can do it. I just don't know if he wants to. I know everybody says, oh, I had visions. And that kind of tells me, I want to go back to Edgar Cayce. I wanted to finish something. So we're on this different timeline than Edgar Cayce. Edgar Cayce's right. He was a phenomenal, especially on health. If you have any health issues, go read Edgar Cayce. All right? Many of his things work very well. And also, if you take out some of those spells, hexes, and curses, you're going to get healthier. You're going to get stronger. You got to remove them. What percent of my readership has curses and spells? Yeah, I remember now. It's like 45%. So a lot of people have them, and a lot of it has to do with rips in the auric field, especially if people are taking drugs, heroin, cocaine, alcoholics. What's the other one? It'd be nice if you could do everything in moderation, but some people have a proclivity for, and what that does, it rips holes in your auric field that allow dark energies to come on and grasp. I mean, that's kind of a metaphor everyone uses, and it's kind of true. So you really do have to scan your auric field. Have someone do it for you if you don't want to do it. Just make sure you don't have any of that stuff, just to get it out of the way, because it could be the cause of an issue in your life or someone else's issue in your life. And I've had success. Even recently, I had to go do it for people around me. It's kind of weird. A lot of people use it. They use it for business. They use it for social reason. They're nuts. You're not allowed to do that, but they do it anyway. And those people have a very low vibration, and they're probably not going to make the cut of the 2 timelines. And I'll just say one thing about the 2 timelines very quickly. What's the cutoff, please? What's the cutoff? I don't know. Let's call it 1.5. 1.5. So everybody below 1.5 vibration will go over here. Mad Max. It's going to be rough, whatever it is. Probably war with Russia, all that. Over here. And then the one over here, the right one, everybody above. And then there's many more issues. I always thought, haven't talked about this in a while, but I kind of said, what is the peace, war type chart I have? And between Russia and China, Newt Gingrich came out about a week ago and he said, well, we're forcing them into an alliance with our foreign policy of Obama and the Bushes and the deep state. We're doing all these sanctions on Iran and Russia in particular, and it's pushing Russia to open up links to China for military alliance, and they have done. But every time I douse it, deep in the bowels of the KGB, they see China, I would say, as an enemy in the future. They're really, really nervous about it. They've had relations with China before our country even existed. So it's something we don't understand. And so I'm not worried about it. I mean, Russia will look for an alliance with the United States and Europe whenever it can. But we're not letting it because we have this Lucifer running the United States for the last 25 years. All right? And until Trump defeats that, we cannot open up real relations with these countries. Even Iran, we should have relations with Iran. They're a big country, and I think they would be open to it. I'm not even sure how long this theological state will last. I assume they're in a big drought. Why are they in a big drought? It could be karmic. It could be the theology is off. So I can see changes eternally. We don't have to interfere. We shouldn't even get close to it. The Iranian kids, just like the Hong Kong kids, will prevail. And that brings me to Hong Kong. I think it's great. They got 18-year-old kids out there in the streets taking on the biggest army in the world, in a way. It's a proxy. It's the Hong Kong police. And these kids have really cornered the Communist Party of mainland China in making a decision one way or the other. They can't do it. They fear if they go and bash heads with the army, the PLA, and take Hong Kong by force, which they can easily do. I mean, there's nothing really stopping them militarily. It would shatter everything about China. And I think it would push their economy over the cliff instantly because the Hong Kong economy has gone down. And there is a contagion already in some cities, apparently, that there are disturbances. They have imprisoned all their Muslims into these re-education camps. And in some ways, the United States is one big re-education camp as we move away from the Western Christian ethos, which was the biggest, most successful productivity in the world has ever seen anywhere. You know what I mean? It was a success. Yes, it had all these issues along the way, but compared to anyone else, it's way ahead. But the Democrats are showing a false side of America to the world right now. That we have all this racism and hate and blah, blah, blah. And, you know, they've really wrecked it for everyone, but it had to come to the surface that they are the instigators of the split and the fracture of our society. And that's what's being addressed. It's bringing it out into the open and everybody can see it. And Trump has done that, and a lot of other people have done it, and it's really, really amazing. Now, I don't... I have a lot of other things. I think that's all I want to talk about right now. Oh, I talked about this a couple years ago. I was going to expand upon it, and it's going to be in my book whenever I start my book. But basically about, let's say, the fast food restaurants, who had the best chicken sandwich by dousing it. Now, I douse the life force of a food. And the life force has a couple components, but if you could use your third eye and you put the burgers side by side, let's say, it would vibrate. It would have an auric field around it. And that's the totality of all the workers, management, and the quality of the contents of the food, where it came from. And so I want to revisit that and see how people and how companies are changing. Anyway, this group came out, Friends of Animals They did a study and came out today, and they rated all the hamburgers and chicken sandwiches and pork. So they 3 parts. And I went and read their. No one else did this. I went and read their study, and it's like really flimsy. It's like they went and did a survey. They send it to the company, and the company fills it out, and they send it back. That's sort of like what happened. And then they rate the contents of the food, whether it had antibiotics in it, something like that. And then they rated them. Well, they didn't test the meat. That's the only way you can do it. So my results were different. I think it's a smear job. For one, they have political agenda, Friends of Animals. Never heard of them, you know. Could you show me the vibration of Friends of Animals? Could you show me the vibration of Friends of Animals? Oh, it's a 1. It's Lucifer. It's 0.7 of a star, and that's luciferic. They're dark. They're self-indulgent. They're in it for the money. The survey company. This hit Friends of Animals. You're Friends of Animals. I'm Friends of Animals. They are not Friends of Animals. They're in it for the money. And a lot of nonprofits today, that's what's going to have to come out in the light. A lot of these nonprofits, they're just sucking up the money. And it's not going to the cause. This is just like nonsense. Anyway, they had, let's go to the chicken sandwich. Chick-fil-A, please. Okay. I went right to it. Go to 0. Could you show me Chick-fil-A? Let's go Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich, all right? Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich. Okay, it's like 6, 6.5, almost a 7. Could you show McDonald's chicken sandwich? Is that 3, 4? It's going to go down to like a 2, 1. Now I know they have. I know Wendy's has a higher quality chicken, 1 or 2. I've been at Wendy's probably once in the last 5 years, maybe twice. Anyway, give me Wendy's, please. Wendy's premium chicken. Wendy's premium chicken. That was a win, excuse me. Okay. Selling it as a 5. So, Wendy's a 5 chicken, Chick-fil-A, and McDonald's. They had Wendy's underneath McDonald's. All right? Now, you have to go in and go, okay, this is their hamburger and stuff. I just wanted to say their ratings are nonsense. This is accurate. If you wanted to do a real test, you would have to just take sample size randomly selected. That's called statistics. We all went to college. You take that course. You have to have a truly random sample size, which could be as low as 28 or 30 hamburgers, let's say, or chicken sandwiches. Well, let's say 100. So you have to put a little money and time. You have to go through all the restaurants, let's say in America, and get sample sizes from each one. Take it to a lab, test it, then you'll get the truth. My way is actually better because it's cheaper and it will come up with the same results as the scientific method. This way, the Friends of Animals, who are Luciferians, that's who they are. It's all nonsense. Everything they printed is one big fake survey. And they're just in it for the money. They don't care about the animals. And it's a very weak scientifically, but I bet you it's on CNN in the morning talk show. I'm sure they're talking about it. But show me their attitude towards Christians. Well, they hate Christians. They hate them. So that's this. Sorry, I switched. That's this one. This chart. This chart is I split it and I do it love peace. And so if it goes left over here, they hate them. That's how I know all these relationships. What do they think of atheists? What do they think of atheism and cultural relativism? See, they're a bunch of communists. So a bunch of communists went out, did a survey of chicken sandwiches, and said Chick-fil-A is so-so compared to, I forget, McDonald's or something. Now, they actually said Chick-fil-A was the highest rank, and I didn't measure Chick-fil-A. I don't want to beat up on them because they've been taking a lot of hits. I thought their idea was pretty good. Show me Chick-fil-A, their chicken. Chick-fil-A, that Mexican restaurant. I got it as a 4. Give me Chick-fil-A. Yeah, see, I get completely different. It's twice the vibration is at Chick-fil-A. They attack it because it's a Christian, family-oriented restaurant. And to end this, I went to one. I've only been to one once. There's none around here for hundreds of miles. I wouldn't know where to go to find one. But I went in there, and it was packed. It was just jam-packed, and there are kids everywhere. And I go, oh, the mothers are taking the children here. It's the mothers that are buying it. You get it? And they had the same thing at McDonald's has. They have it. Kids were all over playing on the jungle gym or whatever it is, and the mothers felt safe here with their children. They didn't care about the transgender people and the gays outside promoting they want access to the children. See, that's the agenda. They want access to, they want sex with the children as a legitimate sexual expression. And this has come up. I'm not making this up. You heard about it at the University of San Diego down there. They wanted to put it on the syllabus that it's a legitimate expression. No, that's not a legitimate expression. That's Lucifer. And asking a little boy to change his sex through an operation in drugs at 7, that's Luciferian. If you don't make this distinction, you're going on timeline number 1. And you deserve it until you figure it out at the soul level. You can't watch TV to make your value judgments. You have to go inside you and you determine yourself what is right and wrong. You're born with those tools. You got to use those tools. You just can't be convinced every time a new philosophy comes around. It's pretty straightforward. And anybody who messes with children, you're going to have a rude awakening. And I'm actually think it's not going to be really bad as Enoch. Enoch says they're going to string you up, and it's going to be painful. And I was reading Dante's Inferno. He really strings everybody up. He doesn't care about you either. If you have these proclivities, deal with it, heal yourself, get out and remove any demons, anything like that. And have this in your house. It's a good start. Just have it in your house. And try to do the All Father as much as you can. Make it a mantra, And if you're a lower vibration, go to someone that's higher up vibrationally. I know you can't tell because you're not going to be able to get the divination rods to really work if you're too low. I mean, you want it to be accurate. But you'll have to do that. You have to find someone, and they're all over the place. And tell Alex Jones he needs to remove those, and he'll do much better. He has to clean his auric field. And I think celebrities have that issue in general. They have to clean their auric field. You can do it through prayer. You can do it through the prayer I mentioned two videos ago, right? And do that. Okay? And great weather. It's kind of getting a little cold. I love you all. And blessings to you all. It's all going to work out. It's going to work out. All right? We just have to go through these rapids. Don't worry about Trump. The Democrats don't matter. Even if they impeach him, it doesn't matter. I don't think they're going to impeach him. But even if they do, it's not going to matter. Just know that. And we'll go from there. Okay, bye-bye.